I would like to now, and it gives me immense honor to invite and introduce our first speaker to the podium, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Mr. Filippo Grandi. UNHCR has been engaged in a multi-year campaign to end statelessness, ensuring gender equality in nationality laws is essential to this effort. Can we give a warm welcome to the UN High Commissioner? High Commissioner, if you could come to the podium. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yvonne, and good afternoon, everybody. It's really a great pleasure to be here, and thank you for giving me the honor to be the first speaker, or the second speaker, rather, I should say. I am truly delighted that UNHCR is co-sponsoring this global summit on gender equality in nationality laws, along with the global campaign on equal nationality rights, UNICEF and UN Women. At the core of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights is the basic premise that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Equality is the bedrock principle on which our entire system of human rights is based, and on which the very health and functioning of our societies depend. This legal and moral imperative to treat everyone equally also extends, it must extend, to nationality rights. Eleanor Roosevelt, the chairperson, as you know, of the United Nations Drafting Committee of the Universal Declaration, referred to the right of nationality as a right of vital importance. She was right. It is fundamental to one's identity and to the enjoyment of other human rights. Yet, this right to nationality is, as we just heard from Yvonne, is denied to millions around the world, leaving them at risk of being marginalized and vulnerable, without access to basic services or the ability to seize opportunities to build a decent life for themselves. Inequality between men and women in nationality laws is a major cause of statelessness. And this is why UNHCR has a big stake in this discussion, because statelessness, as you know, is an issue that actually UNHCR has been mandated to resolve. This has profound impacts on the lives of women, men, girls, and boys, as Yvonne said very clearly, around the world today. Women's inability to equally confer citizenship can put huge financial, emotional, and practical strains on families, as you know very well. Its impacts are also often passed down from generation to generation. Discriminatory nationality laws can threaten family unity, and in some cases increase the potential for family violence. And even, if I may go to the other part of our own work, forced displacement. To better understand the human suffering behind this discrimination, here are some real-life examples of the impact of gender discrimination in nationality laws. For example, and these are real examples, a 70-year-old widow who is still working 3 cleaning jobs to support her adult children. As she was not able to confer nationalities, her children are stateless and unable to find employment. A 10-year-old boy picking rubbish at a dump because without a father or access to his mother's nationality, he lacks the documentation, for example, to go to school. A 46-year-old divorced woman fighting a losing battle against her abusive husband in order to see her 3 children who live with him in another country because they only have his nationality, not hers. And there's many, as you know, many stories like that all over the world. I'm really grateful that you have invited Habiba, Gaitiri, and Neha today, who will tell us how their lives and the lives of their children and families have been impacted by gender discriminatory laws. I admire the courage, tenacity, and resolve that have brought you here today and that animates so many other activists and practitioners around the world. We don't take it lightly that you have chosen to share your personal experiences and your demands with us. Now, in 2014, as you know, UNHCR launched an ambitious campaign, the I Belong campaign. This was launched by my predecessor, who, as you know, the Secretary General today. This I Belong campaign was a campaign to end statelessness, and the span was 10 years. So it will be over. The campaign will be over, but the fight is not over at the end of next year. Critical to achieving the goal of ending statelessness is the universal reform of nationality laws that discriminate against women. This goal reflects the objectives of Article 9 of the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, which explicitly calls on its state parties to ensure that women have the same rights as men when it comes to their ability to confer nationality to their children and spouses. But gender inequality in nationality laws is not only about women's rights. It is also about children's rights. In fact, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, ratified by almost every country in the world, stipulates that, and I quote, every child has the right to acquire a nationality, unquote. Complying with this obligation requires that states reform nationality laws that prevent mothers from passing their nationality to their children. This is why I'm heartened that the global campaign on equal nationality rights, UNICEF and UN Women are standing with us shoulder to shoulder, as ending gender discrimination in nationality laws requires our collective and undivided attention and action. For upholding equality makes our societies better, stronger, and more inclusive. When women can confer their nationality equally with men, their children are more likely to receive an education, healthcare, access to the formal labor market once they grow up. Ending gender discrimination in nationality laws brings us all closer also towards realizing the Sustainable Development Goals, in particular the goals relating to gender equality, Goal 5, Goal 10 on reducing inequalities, and Goal 16 on peace and justice. I'm convinced that by working together, we can overcome this remnant of enduring gender inequality. We have seen inspiring progress over the years in eliminating this particular form of discrimination, showing us all that where there is political will, it can be done. Today, we will hear from 3 countries, Indonesia, Liberia, and Morocco, which exemplify how such reforms can come to fruition. They remind us that reform is possible in any part of the world, regardless of differences in language, culture, or religion. I welcome Minister Saidi Ta, who will speak to us today about Liberia's journey. From the pledge it made at the 2019 Global Refugee Forum to remove gender discrimination in its nationality laws, I remember very well, and I discussed it when I was in Liberia last year, to the constitutional reform it achieved in this area. I'm thrilled that today we will also hear from states that are on their journey towards reform. Minister Buthelezi from Eswatini, Major General Al-Hafaji from Iraq, and Secretary Namakin from Kiribati. Thank you for coming to share news about the progress your respective countries are making. And please be assured of UNHCR's support for efforts in each of your countries, as well as in other countries. Across the world, civil society and increasingly organizations led by those affected by gender discrimination in nationality laws are indispensable advocates and partners in our collective efforts to achieve universal equality. A number of them have traveled to attend this global summit today. Thank you for being here. This year, we also celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We are, as I said, in the final 2 years of the I Belong campaign, and we're entering the final stretch to achieve the SDGs by 2030. So now is the time for us all to take action, including by helping the remaining countries achieve gender equality in their nationality laws. I propose 5 key actions for governments to take. First, all states that are yet to do so should accede to the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination against Women. And, may I say, to the 1954 and 1961 statelessness conventions. These accessions are not just abstract diplomatic gestures. They provide solid legal basis for national reforms to ensure gender equality in nationality laws and to prevent and reduce statelessness and to protect stateless people. Second, states that are already party to that convention should remove any reservations that they have against Article 9. This would be in keeping with the object and purpose of that treaty and facilitate the reform of gender discriminatory nationality laws. Third, states which still have this aspect of gender discrimination in their laws should consider making a pledge to reform those laws at the Global Refugee Forum in December this year. Now, the Global Refugee Forum is about refugees, asylum, responsibility, and burden sharing in refugee matters. But of course, given also the close link between statelessness and displacement, very often it is relevant that these pledges also take place, as was the case in 2019. 4, states that have already pledged or committed in any form to reform their laws should develop a time-bound implementation plan to reform these laws and then implement them. And finally, states that have had the experience and seen the benefits of introducing gender equal nationality laws should support through dialogue and sharing of their own positive practices with those that are yet to achieve these reforms. Change requires action not only from states. We need the continued leadership shown by regional organizations, and by parliamentarians. I asked them to continue acting as bridges among states, together with civil society, and as facilitators that reconcile diverse positions towards ensuring this aspect of the respect of gender equality. And we will require greater support from the whole UN system. I ask my UN colleagues here to help us achieve that, as well as NGOs, of course, and others working in this field in civil society and elsewhere. To support such a collaborative way of working, UNHCR is currently leading an effort to establish a new multi-stakeholder global alliance to end statelessness. This is important. We will launch this initiative, this global alliance, in 2024 at the end of the I Belong campaign to carry it forward and build on it. This initiative will expand the level of engagement of global, regional, and national stakeholders, including states and stateless-led organizations. As part of this, we will work even more closely with those countries that have unequal nationality laws to help them achieve the reforms that are needed. Like statelessness, the problem of gender discrimination in nationality laws has a cure that is within our grasp. Collectively, let us rise to this challenge, do what it takes to achieve universal equality between women and men in nationality matters, and consign this form of discrimination once and for all to the history books. Many thanks.